Chances are you know who Bob Marley is. But what do you actually know about what he believed and where he came from?
Yes, man, I know Bob. Bob was for poor people, man. Bob loving people, man.
Well, my life not important to me. My life is only important if me can help plenty people.
You probably associate him with reggae and, of course, Jamaica. You might even know that he was part of a religious and social movement called Rastafari. But many people don't realize that Rastafari have been historically persecuted in Jamaica for their anti-establishment rhetoric and so-called threat to the British colonial order.
You will hear very horrific stories. They have to take to mountains and forests, and hide. Some of them had to remove their dreadlocks from their head in order to survive.
This leads us to Bob Marley Beach, a historical refuge for generations of Rastafari, where some residents are fighting to protect their land from the expanding tourism industry.
Bob would have burned them out, man, and students said that's not right, man. That's why we have to try wall it.
The Thomases are a Rastafari family that have been living on Bob Marley Beach for 4 generations. But in 2019, a company called the Wolf Group bought multiple properties surrounding the beach with plans to build a $200 million luxury resort.
The Wolf Group is right around us like a circle. We're in the middle of it. When you look at the map, that's what it shows. It's a privilege growing up on this piece of sand. It shouldn't be whereas, they can't go because of something. Money especially. Jamaica full of so much stress. We have to have so much de-stress and we go mad.
In 2022, the Thomases successfully secured their land title through adverse possession, a law protecting long-term squatters' rights.
So my mom, my dad, brothers, sisters, and grands, and niece and nephew. Yeah, we all live here.
Kamala and her mother are 2 of approximately 14 members of their family who live on the beach. They run a small shop and restaurant to make ends meet, and they refuse to charge an entry fee for visitors.
We're keeping it free and affordable, yes. Yeah, they just come and bid, and we have the little tuck shop there. They just patronize us by 2 juice and thing and they bid. We don't charge them. When they come and eat our food, they say, it's the best steamed fish, the best fish I ever eat. Oh, the fish was lovely. 100 out of 100. And I say, yes, give thanks, thank you. I got to go and tell the chef.
But the Thomases are worried their lifestyle is being threatened, as the Wolf Group bought up properties around them, including a property overlapping with the Soul Access Road, and another where a neighboring Rastafari family resides. The company has said it has no plans to cut off the road to Bob Marley Beach. But the Thomases and other community members like local fishermen want this access to be guaranteed in law by the courts.
This is a part of my title. So this is a diagram of our piece of the property. But when we looked at, Wolf diagram that they have, we can see where there's no access to this road anymore. So we are fighting for this road so we can have access, because we can't fly and we can't swim to do business. We have to travel by, vehicle like everybody else.
The Wolf Group was registered in Jamaica, but its director's address was listed in Miami. The company has denied allegations that it's trying to evict the families or block beach access. But it has been in legal proceedings with Kamala's neighbors, the Stevensons, to deny their claim to the property. It previously sent a notice to vacate to one of the family members, but it later withdrew, saying they hope to come to a settlement with the family.
So no, we're currently in court, and we're contending that we made this road and want it to stay free for everybody, public access. Wolf Company said they own this hill, right? You can show on the map that they own a piece of this hill. And then this side, this is being contended in court. So this is where the Stevens are. They said they own this property too. It's also written on the map that this is the Wolf Company.
According to extensive oral histories collected by an anthropologist, Jake Homiak, Rastafari began arriving around Bob Marley Beach in the 1960s, fleeing persecution in Jamaica's capital, Kingston. Bob Marley was even said to have been mentored by a Rastafari elder on the beach itself.
In the late 60s, when Rasta was run out of town, by the government, this is where they came, right here on Bob Marley Beach. So the culture of it is Rastafari refuge space. So we're here as the gatekeepers to preserve this space to reignite that flame.
Rastafari started in Jamaica in the 1930s and now encompasses multiple sects and belief systems. It loosely began as a blend of biblical practices, African traditions, and Pan-Africanism. Devin Taylor is a Rasta who helps lead a movement for public beach access rights in Jamaica, including at Bob Marley Beach.
Rastafari is a movement for the liberation of the minds of the descendants of enslaved Africans and a pushback at colonialism and systems of oppression.
Jamaica was under British rule for over 300 years and was central to the Caribbean slave trade. Some estimate that over 1 million enslaved Africans were sold on the island. And Rastafari was born from this history, more specifically in communities of individuals who successfully escaped slavery, known as Maroons.
And if you miss that point by not seeing that, we are liberating our minds, trying to liberate our thinking, our culture, trying to reclaim who we are and who we were before transatlantic slavery and chattel slavery, then they would not have understood, Rastafari.
Rastafari was also heavily influenced by Jamaican-born civil rights activist Marcus Garvey. He advocated for Black nationalism and Black economic independence. He prophesied that a Black king would be crowned in Africa and that he would become the Redeemer. This led to one of Rastafari's core beliefs, that Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie was a holy figure or messiah who would liberate the African diaspora from European domination. Rastafari pushed back against British colonialism in many ways, including following a natural diet and lifestyle, rejecting capitalism, and advocating for the African diaspora's repatriation to Africa.
The early leaders within Jamaica actually never embraced Rastafari and tried to, kill them. And so the story is bloody, the attack and the assault on Black bodies.
Rastafari suffered various abuses by the government, including police raids, prosecution for treason, and forced cutting of their locks, which they grow as a religious practice based on a passage from the Bible. In the 60s, there was a mass crackdown of Rastafari, which prompted many to flee to rural areas.
The Rasta community was being threatened by the government and they had to leave Kingston. This is where they came. When they come here, the road actually stops in the middle somewhere out there. There was nowhere to come to where we are now. You understand? If you have a bicycle, you'd have to leave it. That's how bad it was.
In 1963, police forces rounded up over 150 Rastafari men, beating many of them and killing at least 3 in what is now called the Coral Gardens incident.
Rasta from day one is like we say nature, wild and free. We know how to survive, So when they left Foreshore Road, Bakawa, they come here for refuge, make it a home, We're preserving it, preservation. We want to take care of nature because it's been good to us. So I want to keep it. I keep emphasizing the natural because too much things now is being destroyed through man-made. So we keep it like this. We work with these things. So this can stay as long as you just keep putting a little paint on them, they can stay forever. So we don't want to get it too commercialized with big buildings. I don't want to keep it for Jan public. Jamaicans can come, both in the diaspora and tourists alike, come here and get that beautiful ambience and naturality.
The historical and cultural significance of Bob Marley Beach is well documented. But residents say the government is not doing enough to protect their lands and their legacy. Instead, they say their image and culture has been commodified for the benefit of the tourism industry and the government.
So my family was featured in this book. So this photo is showing Rastafari in Jamaica. And in this photo, I can see my mom, my dad, brothers, and sisters. They use them as an example. So it says Rastafari in Jamaica. This was actually a picture on Bob Marley Beach. This is definitely part of how tangent the thing is, how legit it is, and how important it is to preserve. It is history, you understand? And we need to carry on that legacy. We need to show these things.
In previous reporting, AJ Plus revealed how tourism development is cutting off local residents like fishermen and souvenir vendors from Jamaica's beaches. According to the calculations by Devin's organization, JABEM, less than 1% of Jamaica's coastline is accessible to the public. This history of exclusion from Jamaica's beaches is what makes Devin and the Thomases skeptical of the future plans for Bob Marley Beach. While the Wolf Group has not revealed any plans to deny them access, they want assurance through the law.
Once the coastal lands have been sold, to a private developer, then these lands are fenced. Concrete walls go up and the public right of access is lost. We have never seen any development that allows the people of the Jamaica to walk over their lands and get to the beach. And we see hotels as the new plantation. And that kind of economic model is taking root in our country.
Tourism is a central part of Jamaica's economy, and the industry leans heavily on Rastafari culture like reggae and Bob Marley. But Rastafari, like the Thomases, don't feel like the benefits reach them.
What people are working for, what you're making in a hotel, you can't spend a night in there. So it's like slavery all over. You understand? And we don't want to go back to that. But no, people are feeling threatened, not sure where the livelihood is going to end up. Because the government always, most time, have things their way. And when I say equal rights and justice for all, we the community built here, we give it the name, and we do the upkeep of this space. So if you're coming to do something like this, why not come together? My favorite part about it is definitely getting up to this every morning, getting up to that fresh air. I can't just go take a dip. I think that's the most special, greatest part of it. Can't just have access to this, honestly. Yeah, man.